Fire protection and extinguishing is a huge deal, as I'm sure you can imagine. As a pilot, you are never assured that things will always go your way. In a way, it's a catch-22. You don't want any problems, but at the same time, they keep things interesting. Obviously, I'm not saying that fires by any means are fun. All I am saying is aviation consists of hours of boredom, speckled with moments of sheer terror and wind shear. This section, in its entirety, will not be used for normal day-to-day operations. If you are one to tense up when these situations do arise, and you forget what to do, there is a lot going on to help you out. Bells, alarms, and flashing lights will be going off everywhere. So this is where we are, in front of the system, which has two purposes. These two purposes are getting our attention to the problem and second, getting rid of the problem. What makes up this system? Fire protection and extinguishing is provided for APU, cargo compartments, engines, and lavatories. How will all this play out? Well, first there will be a fire. That we cannot predict. What we can do is detect these fires. So, let's start out with the first part in this chain of events and discuss fire detection for different areas of the aircraft. Engine fire and overheat protection is provided with a dual loop system in the engine nacelle. Normal operation of this would call for both of the loops to detect a fire or overheat in order to show a warning. APU fire detection, not overheat detection, is provided with a dual loop system. The APU fire detection is a bit different. If either loop detects a fire, the APU is automatically shut down. If on the ground when a fire is detected, an extinguishing bottle is automatically discharged. Both the forward and aft cargo compartments each have two dual-loop smoke detectors. These smoke detectors draw sample air from the compartment through the detectors, thus detecting the issue. Both loop systems need to detect a fire in order for warnings to be given. Each main gear wheel well has a single loop detector, but remember, no extinguishing. Lavatory smoke detection sets off an alarm in the lavatory anytime smoke is detected. At this point, an automatic extinguisher is dispersed in the waste compartment. The detection is now out of the way, but what about the extinguishing? Extinguishing gets a bit tricky. It's no longer just about one simple action. Now we have manual, automatic, and sometimes no extinguishing to keep in mind. First, let us discuss the engine fire extinguishing, its logic, and controls. Each wing holds two fire extinguisher bottles. Each bottle may be used on either engine on that wing. Engine fire switches are mechanically locked when there is not a fire. However, when there is a fire detected, these unlock to allow the pilot to pull them out. This is actually a big safety feature as it prevents the pilots from shutting down the wrong engine. A button behind the fire handle unlocks this mechanism. Extinguishing a fire is actually pretty simple. By pulling the engine fire switch, each bottle is armed and ready for discharge. Then, by rotating the fire switch, the bottle is discharged into the engine nacelle. If both fire bottles are used on one engine, no other bottles are available for that wing. Here are a list of other things that happen during an engine fire. When the fire handle is out or pulled, this closes the related engine and spar fuel valves, closes the related engine bleed valve, trips off the related engine generator, shuts off hydraulic fluid to the related engine, depressurizes the related engine, and arms both bottles. Engine fire warning lights will show on the handle when a fire is detected or when the fire overheat test is done. A bottle discharge light will come on when the bottle is low or is fully discharged. That is it for the engine fire extinguishing. Now we move on to the APU extinguishing. One APU extinguisher bottle is available for discharge, if needs be, by means of the APU fire switch. Like the engine switches, the APU fire switch is mechanically locked in. When a fire occurs, the switch is then unlocked. The normal fire switch extinguishing action is done by pulling up the handle, then turning the switch. The extinguishing bottle is then discharged in the APU compartment. Let's go over a few details that occur with the APU fire. With the APU fire switch out or pulled, this arms APU fire extinguisher bottle, closes APU fuel valve, closes APU bleed air valve, trips APU generator field and breaker, and shuts down the APU in the event that it hasn't been shut down already. The APU fire warning light will show when a fire is detected or during a test. Make a mental note that when a fire is detected in the APU, it will always shut down immediately. If on the ground, the extinguisher is discharged automatically. That wraps it up for the APU fire portion. Now we have the cargo fire extinguishing, and we're done. There are 4 extinguisher bottles for both the front and aft cargo compartments. Pressing the discharge switch immediately discharges 2 bottles. The remaining 2 bottles will discharge with a brief delay or upon touchdown. That is it for the fire detection and extinguishing.